From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network and Troy campuses around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision News.
TrojanVision News for November the 5th, 2014. I'm Xavier Harris.
And I'm Haley Greathouse. Thank you for joining us this evening. Yesterday, Pike County voters flocked to the polls for the general elections, but we often overlook the people behind the polls. I visited the probate office this morning to see how the elections went. Tuesday, November 4th was general election day, and in Pike County, every local office was contested. Wes Allen is the Pike County probate judge, and as chief elections official for the county, his office worked all day to ensure that every voter had a fair chance to vote.
What this office is responsible for as the chief elections official for the county, we're responsible for making sure that open, honest, transparent elections are run. We're responsible for the administration of the elections.
Allen says that though the day was long, it went smoothly.
As far as the process of voting, I think everything was just fine. I think yesterday was a testament to the hard work of the poll workers and the hard work of the staff here at the probate office.
But the voters did not turn out as he expected.
Voter turnout was about 47%. That's not what I had expected. I thought it'd be a little higher, but 47% was where it was, and we had about 9,200 ballots cast in Pike County. It's down by 500 or so ballots from 2010, the last gubernatorial election.
The votes are all cast digitally and then sent to the probate office to be reviewed.
They're counted by the voting machine, and then once 7 o'clock hits, 7 p.m., the inspectors at every precinct close out the machine, turn everything off, and they bring back a USB drive, and all the votes are, and the totals are on those USB drives. There's 34 of them. They're brought back here to the courthouse, and we tabulate them here in our office.
And this year is the first year that photo IDs are required to vote. Allen says this wasn't a problem for the election.
I don't think it really affected it at all. I mean, we already had it implemented for June 3rd primary and the July 15th runoff. So I think it went very well.
The unofficial results are in for the contested elections in Pike County, and Sheriff Russell Thomas and Revenue Commissioner Curtis Blair have the most votes. The official results will be announced on November 14th around noon.
Troy University's Office of Career Services got a present from Enterprise Rent-A-Car today that will help fund efforts to get students prepared for their professional careers. Enterprise presented a $2,500 check to Career Services this afternoon. The money will go toward career building efforts for students.
So it's really an honor to receive this grant from Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We work closely with them to recruit students that can go to work for their company right after they graduate. And we're excited to be able to use this money for some projects that will benefit our students here at Troy. We're going to try to do possibly a career closet where we can have some professional suits on hand for our students to rent out.
Enterprise says they wanted to give the money to Troy because of the success they have had in the past with hiring Troy graduates.
Troy University's Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity gave students a taste of Greek life as a part of their Alpha Week activities. Courtney Chandler explains.
This week is Alpha Week, and on Tuesday night, Troy University non-Greek students got the chance to show off their inner Alpha spirit in an event known as Stroll Like a Alpha.
Day service. Yesterday we had Moke Fitness, so you know what I'm saying, we got a good workout, had a good turnout. Tonight was Stroll Like Alpha.
Teens got the chance to show off their creativity and moves and experience a small taste of a life of an alpha.
Enjoyed the event tonight. It was a great experience. I got a chance to bond with these ladies, and it was a chance for us to see what it takes, well, not what it takes, but a glimpse of a life of an alpha.
Strolling Like an Alpha also allowed Troy Greeks and non-Greeks a chance to come together and fellowship on campus.
It was actually more than I expected. The team seemed like they put in a whole lot of effort into the show, and the crowd was really live, so you know what I'm saying, that helped out with the whole environment. And I also appreciate, you know, how the whole Greek system came out to support. It didn't really matter, you know what I'm saying, it's Alpha Week, but we still want to involve all Greeks, you know what I'm saying, on campus, as well as the non-Greek organizations.
It was not only just an event where teens got to show off their style and creativity in strolls, but it also was an event for students to come out and have fun.
I really enjoyed the event. My friends were in it. They were in both groups. It was a great group. You know, it was a lot of fun. It was something to do.
Stroll Like an Alpha is just one of many events going on during this year's Alpha Week.
Thursday we have the talent show, and Saturday we will have our 90s throwback party at the Rec.
Courtney Chandler, Troy TrojanVision News.
The Alpha's next event will be the talent show tomorrow night at 7:06 in Claudia Crosby Theater. This past weekend, 15 young women competed to be the next Miss Troy University.
That's right, Haley. And last night the guys got their turn at the pageant glory thanks to the sisters of AD Pi. Rachel Wallace explains.
Last night, Alpha Delta Pi hosted its annual philanthropy event, a womanless beauty pageant. This year's event saw a few changes, including a new name and new categories. The pageant, now called the King of Diamonds pageant, had contestants competing in 3 categories: fitness, question, and talent. Last month, Alpha Delta Pi celebrated 35 years in partnership with Ronald McDonald House Charities. All proceeds from the King of Diamonds pageant will benefit Ronald McDonald House in Mobile, Alabama. Audience members were able to get involved in the People's Choice category by placing money in their favorite contestant's jar throughout last weekend at the event. I asked a few participants and audience members what their favorite part of the King of Diamond pageant was.
I believe my favorite part was the Zumba part. It was real funny because all the guys were out there in shorts and tights and everything dancing, so that was probably my favorite part about it.
Definitely the talents. Seeing which guy brought what to the table was really neat and kind of fun and added a little spice to it.
I had the privilege to ask this year's King of Diamonds winner Brady Johnson how he felt about winning the title. I was also able to catch up with last year's winner on how he felt about passing on the title to the new King of Diamonds.
Well, it's a great organization that they're representing, and I just felt like it was a great time and a great experience coming out and doing this for these ladies.
I feel really good about passing my title on because it's to my roommate. We're actually roommates. We live in the same room and we're in the same fraternity. So it was really cool to pass it down to my little brother pretty much.
Congratulations to the new Alpha Delta Pi King of Diamonds. Troy TrojanVision News, Rachel Wallace.
Proceeds from last night's event will go to Ronald McDonald House of Charities.
And now taking a look at news from around the state, Republican Governor Robert Bentley has won a second term by record margin and helped the GOP remain its dominance of all 3 branches of state government. Bentley polled more than 3/5 of the vote against Democratic challenger Parker Griffith. Bentley's unofficial total was the largest winning margin of any modern-day Republican governor in Alabama.
A judge has delayed the sentencing of a man convicted of capital murder for the shooting death of 2 former Auburn University players and a third man at Lee County. Judge has rescheduled sentencing for Desmonte Leonard until January 7th. Leonard's attorney requests more time to prepare for the hearing since Leonard's facing the death penalty. The jury recommended that Leonard receive life in prison instead of the death penalty. Lee County Circuit Judge Jacob III will make the final decision.
Alabama voters have approved a constitutional amendment to make gun ownership a fundamental right. The measure, called Amendment 3, won easily in statewide balloting Tuesday. The Republican-backed amendment used the language from the National Rifle Association. Supporters say the amendment was needed to guard against overreaching gun control. Opponents say the proposal could lead to a dismantling of existing limits on gun possession and ownership. Still to come on TrojanVision News, the soccer team competed in the Sun Belt Conference tournament earlier today. Amy Austin will let us know how they did in sports.
Plus, we learned the results of the 2014 general election. Stay with us.
President Obama reacts to GOP gains after Tuesday's election as Republicans make plans for a new Congress.
Now, the latest in Trojan sports on Troy TrojanVision News.
The soccer team opened up play in the Sun Belt Conference Championship Tournament today. The Trojans took on UL Lafayette earlier this afternoon. The Trojans defeated the Raging Cajuns 1-0. The first half of the game was scoreless as the two teams kept fighting back and forth. In the second half, the Trojans came out determined. In the 58th minute, junior Alyssa Jones scored from midfield and beat the UL Lafayette keeper. Jones scored the solo point for the Trojans and helped secure the victory. This marked the first time Troy has ever won a game in the conference tournament in program history. The soccer team also received recognition and awards for play during the regular season. 5 players were named to the All-Sun Belt teams. Alyssa Jones and Georgia Wallace were each named to the first team, while Chelsea Williams, Peyton Donnelly, and Mickey Lewis were named to the second team. Jones broke Troy's single-season records for assists, points, and shots. Wallace and Donnelly helped Troy record 11 shutouts this season. Williams set Troy's career record for goals and points, and Lewis had 9 shutouts throughout the past season. Since joining the Sun Belt in 2005, Troy has only had a total of 6 All-Sun Belt selections, and head coach Jason Hamilton is happy with the recognition his team is getting.
Had swept the Players of the Week a couple times, I think 6 total. Getting the College Soccer Madness recognition. Alyssa got the Sun Belt Player of the Year offensive award for the College Soccer Madness. We had a couple girls on the second team there. Alyssa got Player of the Week twice. So, Abby got Player of the Week. So not only are we getting recognition within the conference when we're doing the voting each and every week, but we're getting it outside of the conference with some of these other committees that are voting.
The soccer team will take on Texas State on Friday at 4 p.m. The cross-country team finished its season with the Sun Belt Conference tournament this past weekend in New Orleans. The women's team finished in 9th, as the men's team also did. Head coach Elliott Blount said his team is young and didn't perform to the best of their abilities.
We took 9th. I think if we got a little bit more competitive in the middle of part of that race, about with a K left to go, we would have probably, had the ability to jump up 1 or 2 spots. The men definitely didn't we didn't play to our strength. And that was running together, and we got strung out pretty early. It was a very intense race, but it's a very young team as well. Not to make excuses for us, but I don't think we were up to matching the intensity that the other teams bring.
The season is over for the cross-country team, but track and field will begin in the spring. The volleyball team has hit a slump this season as it's riding a 14-game losing streak. The team plays again at home this weekend, not only to finish out home play for regular season, but also to honor the seniors for senior night. And with the final home games and senior night wrapped into one weekend, head coach Sonny Kirkpatrick said he doesn't expect anything less than the crowds he has been seeing all year in attendance.
Our crowd's phenomenal. They're amazing. I can't put any more adjectives in there for them. They've supported us the last 2 years really, really well, and we would expect no less going into this weekend.
The team takes on UL Monroe this Friday night in Trojan Arena beginning at 7. And the football team is sitting at 1-8 on the season. With 3 games left to play, the Trojans have the opportunity to get a couple more wins at home and 1 on the road. And defensive end Brandon Timmons said that these last games show the character of the players on the team.
It tests your character. It tests you as a man. When things are going bad, what are you going to do? Are you going to sit down and just lay down and let people, roll over you? Because, like I said, we got 3 more games left. You can win all 3 or lose all 3. And, what do you want to be remembered for? You want to be remembered as that team that gave up, or you want to remember the team that, hey, those guys fought hard to the end, no matter what, especially for me going out as a senior. And, the rest of the team, I can speak for the rest of us, we're not going to give up on this team, and we know that
The football team takes on Georgia State on Saturday in Veterans Memorial Stadium beginning at 2 p.m.